and welcome back to the Balance and Built podcast. My name is Morgan.
My name is Shay.
And today we have a highly requested and also a highly anticipated topic by me that I'm so excited to talk about, all things hormonal acne.
So exciting. I know I was telling you before, my sister, one of my oldest sisters, she has had some hormonal acne stuff. I deal with hormonal acne. I feel like so many women do, but no one ever thinks they do because everyone looks like they have like glass skin on Instagram. But your skin's looking fire today.
Thank you. I'm excited to give some tips.
Yeah, trust me, I might need to get my remarkable notepad out because I might be taking notes throughout the whole episode.
Yeah, I mean, it's been a journey. Those of you guys that know me in real life know that it's been like 15 years, but we'll get into it and then we'll end off with like some tips and things you guys can implement into your real lives to help get that clear glass skin that we all want.
I know I got questions, so kick it off, girl. Kick it off.
Okay, let's do it. Okay, so since this is like such an extensive journey, I'm going to be referring to my notes here, so
we won't judge you too
hard. I just wanted to have everything here. So first, I guess I'm just going to talk a little bit about my backstory. So bring it back to when I was like 12 years old.
It started when you were 12?
Yes, literally middle school.
What?
I'm 27 now. So like 15 years ago, I literally remember getting a pimple and like being in my mom's bedroom before school and her putting Bare Minerals on my face to cover.
Hold on. Wait a second. I just had a flashback. I remember when you got your first pimple. And I remember you like really crying. Like it was a bad day. It was a bad day. I remember that actually.
It was a horrible day.
I just had a vision because your mom's bedroom was still upstairs.
Yes.
And I remember you going up there and I remember this. Okay.
And they had like that big dresser with the big mirror.
Yes.
Yeah. Like, playing makeup artist on me, like trying to get me to calm down. Because, I mean, when you're in middle school, like, that is so traumatizing. Like, I feel like you're already feeling so awkward in your body. Things are changing. You don't really know what's going on. To me, it didn't really seem like any of my friends had acne, so that didn't make it any easier. And
when you're young like that, like, well, nowadays, I think kids in middle school wear makeup. But, like, when we were in middle school, like, if I wore makeup, my parents, no mascara until 10th grade or, like, whatever it was, you know?
I remember that, yeah. I feel like the only reason I was allowed is because of my skin. My mom felt bad for me, you know?
Yeah, fair. Go, Lisa.
So from there, things kind of progressed. I tried literally everything under the sun, like all the drugstore stuff, Neutrogena, like all those type of brands. We tried high-end stuff. We tried Proactive, of course, like natural, organic stuff. We eventually then went to the dermatologist and tried like all the prescription creams, and none of that ever worked. Like,
nothing worked.
Nothing helped at all.
Did you do any of the like oral medications?
Yeah, so once none of that worked, I tried multiple different brands of birth control pills, which we still need to do a whole episode on that.
That's so crazy. 12 years old, they're like, you have acne, get on birth control.
I know. Well, this was more so like 16. Like,
okay, so this is a couple years later.
Yeah, a few years later, like acne's getting worse. I'm getting it on my back and my chest. Like, that's not helping my confidence. I'm really stressed about it. It's just impacting my self-esteem. So eventually, like I said, lead my way to the dermatologist, and they put me on multiple different antibiotics, which I really hate because...
Wait, antibiotics?
Yes. So,
did they
like doxycycline, like, they do that a lot for people with acne, but what I know now as, like, a holistic health practitioner is that totally wipes out all of the good bacteria in your gut, which is more problematic. So, like, sometimes those antibiotics would work, but as soon as I would go off of them, the acne would come back. It was never, like, targeting the root cause. And also, like I said, that was just wiping out my gut bacteria. So then I would have, like, digestive issues. And, all that type of stuff.
You can't have one thing without problems with another.
Yeah,
I mean, it's
more side effects.
Right.
So then eventually my dermatologist was like, well, there's only one thing left, and it's Accutane, so you can try that. And I'm like, okay, like, I'm just a desperate
Right, you're like,
teenager.
Please give it to me, anything.
I'm like, I'll do anything, even though that medication is so intense that I had to sign a waiver every single month that said I was taking birth control or practicing abstinence, because if you get pregnant while on Accutane, it's like guaranteed that your baby will have birth defects.
What?
Like, that's how crazy this is. Yeah. And they're just like giving that to me. And I'm like, okay, I just want clear skin, you know.
You're like, cool, yeah, that's fine.
Yeah. Not to mention all the other side effects, like extremely dry skin, like anxiety and depression even are side effects.
What is it like? Is Accutane actually designed for acne, or is it like okay, it is.
It is.
So what's its like? What is it?
So it is
how
like
is
a
it supposed to work?
super high dose of vitamin A, and it's basically works by preventing all of your what is that called? Like your skin cells or like your follicles from producing oil. So it literally dries you up from the inside out. Literally to the point where I got joint pain from it. Like when I was on it, I was also this was COVID time, so I was in my parents' basement doing like weightlifting.
Yeah.
And I couldn't do any jump squats because it would hurt so bad from my knee pain. Like, why am I having joint pain at 21 years old, you know?
Wow.
Like, it is intense stuff. So, like, I always want to caution people before they just go on it. Like, do your research, obviously. And for me, it didn't even work long term. So
you went through all of that for literally nothing. That's amazing.
Yeah. I mean, like, Jeff, my fiance, went on it. He had horrible acne, and that worked for him, and he never had another pimple again.
Really?
But I feel like for women, it's so much more complex because hormones are involved.
Yeah.
And that's not to speak for everyone, but with my experience, like, my acne eventually came back. So, fast forward to about 4 years ago, I was done with all the prescriptions, pills, birth control. I kind of skimmed over the birth control, but like I said, I would try different brands, and like some of them would clear my skin, but then my insurance would change and I would have to change brands, and then I would break out again, and then whatever. Accutane was like the last thing I tried. But yeah, so 4 years ago I decided I'm done with all of it. I'm getting off everything, and that's when I really started like my natural healing journey. The first book I read was Beyond the Pill by Dr. Jolene Brighton. Great book if you guys are getting off birth control.
I read that book because
Really?
well,
So
yeah,
good.
remember we were in we were at that Mexican restaurant on the hill. You remember that? It was like that big patio outside,
By
and
my
you were
apartment?
yeah, like where I
My
used to
old
live.
apartment?
Yeah.
Oh,
Do you remember
where
what I'm
you
talking
used to
about?
live.
Yeah,
Yes,
yeah, where I
yes.
used to live.
Yes.
It was like whatever that Mexican restaurant was.
Yeah,
Remember we were
I
sitting
know
outside,
exactly. Yeah.
and that's when you had just gotten off birth control, and you were telling me about that book,
Oh,
and I
really?
read it. Yeah.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. I love that book. It has a lot of good information about like what the pill does to your body, how to safely get off it, and like prepare your body to get off it. So yeah, and then like a year after that, I started seeing a naturopathic doctor who I love. She has helped me so much with hormones and things like that, but I've done so many different labs with her, like functional lab tests, saliva tests, urine tests, blood work. I recently did a genetic test, tried so many different gut healing protocols, hormone balancing, herbs, different diets, elimination diet, working on my stress. Like literally, when you think of like the holistic big picture, like we worked on every single area. Oh, liver, like making sure my liver was detoxing correctly, lymphatic drainage, like all the things, because that's the thing about acne that makes it so hard to clear, is that there's so many different root causes, you know, like
From
it doesn't
where the acne can be coming from.
exactly, like yes, your acne might be hormonal, but okay, why are your hormones imbalanced? That could be from a gut issue. That could be because your liver is not doing its job. Like so many different things can be out of whack, which are like causing the acne, and that's why it's so difficult.
So, like, when you're a teenager or, like, you're going through puberty, most of your acne most likely comes from, like, the hormonal changes,
Yeah,
right? And
yeah.
then, like, it's supposed to be as those hormonal changes even out, the acne is supposed to clear up.
Yeah.
But then in cases, like, certain cases, it's not.
Right. And I just think, like, because of how toxic the world is, like, young girls are getting their periods so much earlier than normal. Like, their hormones are having a lot of trouble regulating, so.
I had, when I was coaching, I knew girls that were getting their first cycle at 8 years old.
Oh my gosh.
I think that's the youngest one I heard.
That is, like,
but
not
9
okay.
and 10 was not uncommon.
That's buck wild.
Isn't that buck wild?
That just, like, gives me so much anxiety.
Yeah, when the mom would come in and tell me, oh, she's on her period, I'm like,
oh my goodness.
is she like a mini human or something?
Yeah, she's just like really short.
Yeah, I'm like, wait, isn't she like 8?
Yeah.
They're like, yeah. I'm like, I'm
That's
missing
crazy.
something.
I mean, yeah, so in essence, I guess it is technically supposed to clear after your hormones balance out, but for a lot of women, that just is not happening because of everything in our food and water and air and environment and personal care products, all the rest. But so all that to say, like, it's not just a skin condition, and that's kind of what I want to get across in this episode, that if you've struggled with acne, I see you. I've understand that it's like a lived experience that affects your confidence. It's not just like a vain issue. It affects your nervous system. It affects your relationship with yourself, how you portray yourself to others, like literally everything. It's not just like, oh, I have a pimple, you know, like it's
Oh gosh,
goes
no.
so much deeper than that.
If I have acne or something, and like let's say I planned on wearing like a slick back pony, but I have some stuff on my oh heck no, I'm
Yeah.
going hair down,
Same.
middle part.
Yeah.
I'll change my whole fit.
Yeah, I've done that too, like especially on the back in the summer.
Yeah.
Like, oh my gosh, I have cried so many times because I want to wear a tank top and I just like don't want to show my back. So
Ugh.
I totally get that. But we'll give you guys some tips a little bit later on, but I want to touch a little bit more deeply on the root causes of hormonal acne, because like I said, there's so many causes. And I just want to say, even I kind of said this before, but even if it is hormonal, it's rarely just about hormones, because the hormones are the messengers. It's not like the source of the problem. So a lot of people think like hormones are the root cause, but it's like, okay, but why aren't your hormones balanced? You have to go deeper and deeper and deeper. So yeah, obviously it can be a hormonal issue. So acne can show up when hormones are out of balance relative to each other, not just when like one number is high or low. We talked about on our cycle syncing episode, like your hormones are doing an intricate dance and things need to line up at certain times of the month for everything to go smoothly. So go back to that episode if you guys missed that. We talk more about that. But commonly, like high testosterone is going to cause acne, low progesterone, estrogen dominance or estrogen deficiency, irregular ovulation, and just long cycles. So I personally would recommend, if you can, to get your hormones tested. I think that's like the easiest place to start.
If you're having acne.
I think
Step
so.
one is to go get your hormones tested in one way, shape, or form.
Especially if you don't have a lot of gut issues. Like if you're not a person that ever gets digestive issues or stomach problems after eating certain foods. And another thing, I just did a whole TikTok on how to tell if your acne is hormonal. If your acne is coming up at different times of your cycle, like if it's clear one week and then the next week it's breakouts and then it's back to clear. And it doesn't just have to revolve around your period. Like for me, I would get my worst breakouts during ovulation. Like everyone's different, but if you notice those like cyclical patterns, and if you notice that it's worse when you're more stressed, that's another good sign that hormone testing would be a good place to start for you.
That's interesting, because I definitely notice normally like 2 weeks before I start bleeding
That would be ovulation.
is when I would normally get acne, and then it would like randomly clear up, and then I'd like get my period.
Yeah. 2 weeks before would be ovulation. So you're like similar to me.
Huh. Yeah, that's interesting.
Yeah. So, and also just want to note, birth control can mask symptoms for years, and then symptoms can return once you stop because that underlying imbalance was never addressed.
Guilty. Me.
And same.
I did not like when I was in high school, I remember getting a lot of acne, but it wasn't like the typical hormonal areas. It was more like my forehead or like right here or something. Which I feel like more hormonal is like chin area.
It's like this area.
And then when I got on birth control, I don't really remember ever having like maybe I'd get 1 or 2 like right before my period or something, but that was it. And then once I got off the pill, my skin like cleared up significantly. Like it was like I had like the best skin I've ever had when I got off the pill. But then once I started getting my period again after I got off of it, that's when I started having problems with acne. And so it was weird because I tend to break out like once when it's going from fall to winter, and then like again when it's going from spring to summer, and then I go to the dermatologist, they give me some stuff, it clears up, and then I'm good. But since I lost my cycle from being on PrEP, my face just has not even cleared up. Like I'll have like little spurts of where it's like looking better and stuff, but even like right now, like over here and like on this side and stuff, like under my chin, like I just cannot get it to like shake. And I probably won't until, obviously for me it's a hormonal problem because I'm not getting my period. So
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. But sorry, that was a little derail.
No,
but
you're fine. Yeah, those are good signs, like I said, to see if hormones are your culprit.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, same for me. Like, I don't know if I had PCOS before I went on the pill, or if the pill caused my PCOS, but either way, when I came off, those underlying symptoms weren't addressed, so like my symptoms started to flare.
When did you get diagnosed with PCOS?
So 2022. So a little bit shortly after I decided to ditch all the medications and go on my natural journey is when I got diagnosed. And we can honestly do an episode on that too.
In the future. Yeah, I mean, yeah, I just,
right now. But okay, next root cause of hormonal acne, like we've been saying, can be due to gut issues. So gut dysbiosis, constipation, low stomach acid, food sensitivities, all of those things can increase inflammation. 80% of our immune system activity is in the gut, so gut irritation can often show up in the skin. Like the gut-skin axis is a thing you guys can do more research on. So yeah, if you have like sluggish digestion or you're constipated a lot of the times, your hormones aren't being cleared out. You're not like detoxing. So they'll recirculate into your body, which causes more breakouts. I always say people are always looking for like how to detox, how to do a cleanse. And I'm like, if you're not pooping, peeing, and sweating, start there.
Yeah. Start there before you drink some stupid tea.
Exactly. Like those are your body's natural detoxification processes. So focus on that first. If you do have a lot of constipation, like focus on getting more fiber and making sure you're exercising to sweat and sauna and, drinking plenty of water. All those type of things. Yeah. The next root cause is liver and detox pathways. So your liver is what metabolizes your hormones. So if your liver is overwhelmed because it has to process a bunch of other toxins in your life, your hormones aren't going to be cleared out effectively. So again, they'll just like recirculate back into your body.
So your body gets rid of your hormones.
So it clears out like excess ones.
Okay.
And it like filters them out.
Okay.
So like if you're on birth control, your liver has to prioritize, since you're taking that dose of synthetic hormones every single day, your liver has to filter that out, and that's the priority. So when you are like coming in contact, like someone that's drinking a lot, your liver's not going to be able to filter that as well if it's like...
Well, I was going to say, like hormones. When you drink alcohol, your body sees alcohol as poison, so your liver immediately prioritizes that and shuts down your ability to metabolize anything. That's why when a lot of people, when they drink a lot, they tend to gain weight because the food that they're eating is not getting metabolized because all your energy is going towards getting rid of that poison.
Yeah, definitely.
That's interesting. I didn't know that with the liver with the hormones, too.
Yeah, and there's like different detox pathways, like methylation, sulfation. I don't really know too much about that, but I do just know working on liver was a big part for me, especially after being on Accutane too. That puts a stress on your liver. And I know I sound like a broken record, but all of the toxins in our food, water, air, and personal care products, your liver has to filter that out as well. So yeah, that can be another root cause.
Wow, that's interesting. I didn't know that about the liver.
Yeah. And then the next root cause, stress and nervous system. So chronic stress is going to raise your cortisol, which is your stress hormone, which then is going to affect your other sex hormones like estrogen, progesterone, testosterone, creating that imbalance that we talked about earlier. And then you break out, so then you're stressed because you're breaking out, and then you produce more cortisol, and then it's just like a vicious cycle.
A really fun cycle.
Yeah, super fun loop that you get stuck in.
Great.
So yeah, I feel like last year I learned that nervous system regulation was like so underrated when it comes to skin, because especially for someone like me, like my stress is totally linked to my skin. I see that clearly all the time. So yeah, working on not just like managing stress, but making sure you actually feel safe in your body and not being in a state of fight or flight all the time, like being in that parasympathetic rest and digest state. I do want to do a whole episode on that too.
Yeah, we talked about that.
Yeah, like you can't heal in a body that feels like it's in danger. Like, so really quick, I might have said this before, but back when our ancestors were like in caves and stuff, if you're being chased by a tiger, your brain and body senses that it's in danger. our brains and bodies now today don't know the difference between being chased by a tiger and like my boss is yelling at me. Like it literally is processed the same way. So you have to like actively shift back into that like rest and digest state by, you know, whatever that is for you. Deep breathing, saying like I am safe, you know, you have to consciously remind yourself like I'm actually not in danger right now.
Right,
you know?
right. So when you say like feel safe in your body, it just kind of means like that anxiety when things happen is you can calm it down versus letting it go bananas.
Yeah, so it's like heart rate is a good way. Like my Oura Ring will tell me my HRV, which is heart rate variability. That is a good test, like how the variability between your heart rates, like you want it to be large. You want to be able to get your heart rate high when you're working out and have it be low when you're resting, when you're reading a book or like watching TV. Like you shouldn't be having high heart rate if you're just like watching a movie. But also nervous system, I don't know if there's two. Well, anyways, there's the parasympathetic nervous system and the sympathetic. So sympathetic is that fight, flight, or freeze or fawn state when you're like the best way I can describe it is like you feel like this, like the world is on fire, like things are not safe, like you feel like you're literally in danger. Versus the parasympathetic is the rest and digest, and that's when your body feels like there's no threat, there's no danger, and it can properly digest food, your heart rate can lower, like, does that make sense?
No, yeah, it does make sense.
Okay.
Yeah, the heart rate is that made a lot of sense because it's like if your heart rate's constantly up all the time, then you're always obviously thinking you're in this fight mode. But it's interesting how your brain can like think things are in fight when they're not.
Exactly.
That's pretty interesting.
And that's so common because people live really stressful, chaotic lives nowadays. So it's like just making that conscious effort to shift into the
like almost being
safety.
just like aware that like, hey, this could make me. Yeah, that's interesting.
That's the first step, honestly, is being aware.
Yeah.
You know. Okay, and then my last, I mean, there are more than this, but these are just the ones I wanted to mention. Lastly, environment can be a root cause of acne. So anything that shows up in your environment, mold exposure, endocrine disruptors, poor ventilation, like just poor air quality, poor water quality if you're drinking like tap water in most cities, like harsh skincare routines, like products that are stripping your moisture barrier. A lot of products are marketed for acne, but then they actually damage your skin barrier, which like makes your inflammation worse. I'm sure you've experienced that with like super drying acne products.
Yep.
Because they dry out your skin and then your skin's moisture barrier's damaged, so then your skin's like, oh, I need to overproduce.
And then that happened to me one time.
Yeah.
I remember that happened to me like the first time I had the first time I had like a really bad breakout was during COVID, and I was wearing those masks.
Oh yeah.
And it was almost like a bacterial thing. It was awful. And so I was on this one medication that I can't remember what it was. It was just a topical thing, but it dried out my skin so bad. And Huda Beauty, the makeup brand, I don't know if she still has this brand, but like her skincare was called like Wishful. And she came out with this rose oil. And I'm like, you know what? I'm just going to try that. I feel like it's counterintuitive. Like, why would I put oil on my face if oil is my problem? Like, that's what I thought it was. Put that on my face. That literally healed my face, like, single-handedly. Yeah.
Was it like rose hip seed oil?
Yeah, rose hip. Yeah.
I've tried that from a different brand. I like it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, it is counterintuitive, but it makes more sense when you think about it in terms of, like, the barrier being damaged, you know? Oops.
Yeah.
So,
it's actually funny you're talking about the marketing. We should do an episode on this.
Yeah.
But my mom and I were just on the phone the other day, and she was getting all mad because she's like, I need to get rid of my wrinkles, blah, blah, blah. All these products this will get rid of fine lines. And she's like going down the list and all this stuff. I'm like, Mom, it's not true.
With all of those root causes being said, acne has to be healed holistically. So focusing only on your skincare is going to miss the bigger picture, the root cause, all the things. Okay, so I kind of already touched on this. I'm not going to list every protocol or product, but I'm just going to touch on the categories that I've explored on my healing journey, and then I'll talk about what I would do differently if I was like starting over today. So as for skincare, I know we said it's not the root cause, but it is helpful to remove products with pore cloggers or comedogenic ingredients. And what I mean by that is, products that clog your pores. So there's a scale of 1 to 5. Coconut oil is a 5. So that's for sure going to clog your pores. Hyaluronic acid is like a 0, so that doesn't clog your pores. So because I've been on such a journey with this, I literally copy and paste the ingredient list of every single product that touches my skin into a pore clogging checker, and we can link that down below for you guys, just to make sure I'm not contributing to the problem. Since I'm already so prone to breaking out, I don't want to add fuel to that fire. Yeah. So it takes a while. It's a lot of work, but like, I don't care.
You're like, it's worth it. Yeah.
Like I said, antibiotics, birth control, Accutane, those are just like temporary suppression of symptoms, and then they'll eventually return once you get off those medications in most cases. Diet changes. Removing dairy originally did help for me. I did a whole elimination diet where I removed dairy, gluten, soy, corn, eggs, citrus, nightshades. And then slowly added them back to see what would break me out. And while that did help a little bit, it was not sustainable long term. Like, I don't have acne because of dairy. Some people, maybe they do, but for me, it was a deeper hormonal genetic issue, which I'll touch
I feel
more
like
on.
with the elimination diet, I always wondered this because I know this would be true for me if I wasn't eating the same thing every day. Like, when you take things out, I feel like that makes sense because then you can really see, like, okay, I took dairy out and my acne went down.
Yeah.
But then when you add stuff back in, your body's going to have a reaction anyways to adding new substance back into your body. So, like, I like the removal part because, like, the removal will tell you what is giving it to you more, but then you got to add it all back in.
Yeah.
And so it's like your body's going to have a reaction to that too.
Well, I just added each of those in one at a time to see which one was causing it.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
I see.
I didn't add them all back
at the same time. Okay,
Yeah.
so you remove them one at a time, or you remove them all at once?
I remove them all at once, and then I slowly add them back.
Okay, that makes more sense. Got it.
I have a friend that used to always say you have to quiet down the inflammation to be able to hear what your body's like.
That's
trying
interesting.
To speak to
Okay,
you.
yeah, because I've heard of people like removing them one by one and then adding them back in together. I'm like, I feel like that doesn't make sense because then your body's
how
gonna.
would you know which one is giving you issues?
I thought like the only way you would know is like if you removed it and you didn't see it anymore, then okay. But then if you bring them all back in.
Well, you could also, instead of removing all of them at once, you could also just remove one at a time. But I feel
like it makes more sense to remove them all at once.
And that's just the kind of person I am. Like, I would rather just remove
full
them all.
send it. Yeah, full send it. Exactly. I get it. Yeah.
But I get it if that's hard. Like, people, you can just remove one at a time. Supplements, tried a ton of different supplement protocols. I work at a naturopathic doctor that has like 1,000 different supplements. So inositol, spearmint, saw palmetto, omega-3s, probiotics, liver and lymphatic herbs, magnesium, adaptogens. Like, some of those did help to regulate my cycles and reduce inflammation, but none of them were the magic pill alone.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why it is so important to like do labs and find your specific genetic makeup and like what your body's needing. Also tried like herbal support. I kind of already said this, but like herbs that help shift your hormones gently, seed cycling. Yes. That was good, but again, it wasn't enough for me. But for some people, they do seed cycling and their periods come back and it's all magical and they are fine. So you just have to do a lot of trial and error, which I know people don't want to hear, but it is a journey. Nervous system work, like I said, I underestimated this, but now I see how stress and safety are like core pillars of healing, not just like extras. And then environmental changes. I tested my apartment for mold because I thought we had mold. I remember that. Yeah, that was a whole thing. I try to remove toxins as much as possible. I use like a lot of natural skincare and makeup and shampoo, all of that. And what doing all of this taught me is that clearing my skin wasn't always about doing more. It was just about doing the right things slowly and consistently.
I like how you're saying that none of these things single-handedly did it, because I'm sure at the end of the day, it's a group of things that you have to manage in order for it to be manageable. There's never one magic pill for anything.
Yeah, and it's taken like 2 or 3 years working with my naturopath to find what works.
What it is.
So I can
Unless you have a headache, then you just take Advil. That's the only one thing that
Yeah, but then my brain is like, wait, why are you getting a headache though? I'm like, are you testing me with that? Oh my gosh. So if I was like starting brand new over today from ground zero, I would do testing before just trying random supplements that are marketed to me online. So like a basic blood work panel would be a great place to start if you haven't gotten one in a while. Like fasting insulin, iron, thyroid hormones, all of those are great. If you can spend the extra money on like a Dutch test or a saliva test for hormones, like the Dutch test gave me so much information. It stands for dried urine. I can't remember the T. It's basically a comprehensive hormone panel that it doesn't just tell you your hormones, it tells you the metabolites of them and if they're being converted at the proper rate to, because I know on this podcast I only mention estrogen, progesterone, testosterone, and cortisol, but there are so many more that you guys don't even know. Like there's different forms of estrogen, there's different forms of testosterone, there's so much more to it. So
wait, and you can tell that through your pee?
Yeah. Dried urine, I cannot think of the T. But yeah, it's all through urine.
That's wild.
Or saliva. And I think I've said before, blood for women's hormones is not always the most accurate. So if you
because we talked about when I did the saliva test and I wanted to throw up.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was so fun.
So I think you can just do the Dutch test online or find like a natural practitioner if you can, if you really think that your hormones are an issue, which again, if you're having like irregular cycles, that's also a big sign. And like stool testing if you have a lot of digestive symptoms. So yeah, labs if you can do it. Also, I would track patterns more closely. Like I would be tracking, okay, day 15 of my cycle, breaking out. Day 20 of my cycle, anxiety. Like I would really be tracking my symptoms, tracking when I'm flaring up, like what products, if I tried out a new product, if I ate something differently, like that really helped me to figure out the patterns. I feel like,
and with that too, like you probably don't realize, like I'm sitting here going, gosh, I never even thought of that. Yeah. Like I know that I'm breaking out, but like I'm sure there's a pattern to it. I'm just not even thinking about.
Yeah.
I'm not even paying attention to it. Like I'm just like, oh yeah, I'm breaking out today.
Yeah.
I didn't think about that I was super stressed the day before. Or I didn't think about that I was traveling, or I didn't think about that maybe I'm before this or that and where my hormones are at or whatever. So that's a good idea. It's like you really got to get detailed down. Like if you want to figure out the why and like really figure out how to fix it long term, like this is like a full-blown investigation. We're like Sherlock Holmes for acne.
This has been like my life mission for the past decade.
Like, I love this. We might need a part 2. We need a part 2, not might.
Again, another thing I do differently, focus on nervous system. Earlier, we talked about that too much already. I would be more skeptical of marketing miracle cures, and that goes for holistic, but also like pharmaceutical. Accutane comes to mind. Like, I just wouldn't put all my eggs in one basket.
Sure.
And believe in all that marketing, and also avoiding like everything all at once. We're actually going to record this next, but healing is a slow journey. You cannot expect urgent results. Like you really have to give your body time to adapt to like what you're implementing. Okay, so fast forward to today. I know my skin is looking a little better.
You are glowing. If you are watching us on YouTube, Morgan is glowing today.
Thank you. I do have makeup on, but just the texture I feel like is way better. And I'm just going to speak what I've done, but I'm not saying this is what everyone needs to go run and do. But for someone like me that did all this stuff for years and years, and I did the Dutch test twice and found out my acne is clearly hormonal, connected to a history of PCOS symptoms. I've had low estrogen and low progesterone for years, which I think is from being on the pill for so long. My body didn't know how to produce those things on its own, especially since I was so young when I went on it. So recently I did a genetic test, and it didn't give me like the answer to my skin, but it highlighted a few things that made a lot of sense with my experience. So I may process my estrogen a little slower. So for me, supporting liver and detox pathways is really going to be important. I'm a lot more sensitive to stress and inflammation than the average person, which makes nervous system habits like non-negotiable for me. I have higher androgen sensitivity, which is like testosterone, which explains why I still break out even though my testosterone shows up as normal on labs. So all that being said, and again, I'm working with a naturopathic doctor. I'm not figuring this all out on my own, but currently focusing on supporting my ovulation to raise progesterone naturally, focusing on minerals, protein, and consistent meals for hormone balance. We always talk about consistent meals, balance plate, protein, carbs, and fats, nervous system work to calm inflammation, liver and lymph support for hormonal clearance, and sticking with routines long enough to actually see patterns. So instead of like constantly changing what I'm doing, I'm trying to create the conditions where my body feels safe to heal, like even if that takes time.
Okay, so to be honest, I've actually, like listening to this whole thing, I've completely changed my view on how I should treat my skin. I'm not even gonna lie, because I, like, you know me, I'm just like, I'm going to the dermatologist, freaking put me on spironolactone, give me retinol, and get me out of here, like that.
Like, that's like the one thing I haven't tried is spironolactone.
Honestly, it works, man. And I'm not promoting it in this episode. But I will say, like I say, I break out really bad twice a year. Even though I take it, it'll keep me clear until I break out again. I mean, right now I haven't been on it in a long time, like since last spring. But I've been having problems just since I haven't had my cycle. But I would say, like, I think I always get confused because it's like, one, there's so much information out there about skincare and like how it's going to like treat your acne. So like, when I'm trying to pick out skincare, now I'm learning that that's not really going to affect the outcome of my acne, but what should someone with more acne prone skin be focused on when they're picking out their skincare to not make it worse or to like help heal scarring, or like, I don't even know, maybe that's too markety. Like, I don't really know. I just feel like,
so in my opinion, like I said, checking for those pore cloggers. If you're someone that breaks out, you should not be using things with comedogenic ingredients. I can also like recommend some brands for people. Like Clear Stem is always going to be acne safe. Face Reality is acne safe. Those are like my two that I trust, because like I said, even though skincare is probably not going to heal your hormonal acne, it can make it worse. It can add fuel to that fire, especially if you're an acne-prone person. Like, one of my friends, she's not acne-prone. She can use anything on her face. She can probably slather it in coconut oil and be totally fine. Like, me, I would break out, like, the next day. I think I've said on here before, I break out when the wind blows the wrong way. Like, I feel like, checking your ingredients, and then if you're in a state where your skin is like super, super inflamed, like it's red, it's angry, like inflamed, I would not be doing all of these like acids and like drying treatments. You know what I mean? Like, I can't really think of them because I don't really use any of those, but like all the things that people say you need, like when you see on TikTok and when people have like a 10-step skincare routine, I would err more on the side of like simplicity. Like cleansing and moisturizing is really all I do. I'll sometimes do like a hyaluronic acid because that's just for like moisture. But if your skin is like angry, I would scale it back and just focus on the basics until you can get it more calm.
What do you think about like exfoliating for the face if you have acne? Yeah,
I think that can be good. I think it just depends on the person. Like, I do like a physical exfoliator because there's chemical and physical, probably like once a week in the shower. And I do think that can be helpful because a lot of times like your hair follicle and the oils can clog the pores and stuff like that. So I honestly don't want to speak too much on that because I'm not like an esthetician or anything, but I feel like just
less is more in a way. Yeah, because then like if you're just putting, it makes sense. If you're putting like 10 things on your face, like the odds are they're not all helping, like you're saying, they could be contributing. So
they could be also drying it out, which again is going to damage your moisture barrier. Your skin's going to overproduce oil and you're just going to break out more. And it's not to say that those serums never have a place, but if you're in a super, like I said, inflamed state, I just think it's not the best time for them.
Now what about like, let's say I got my labs done. Labs came back, everything says it's normal. I'm having hormonal acne. what would you recommend, like, the next step be?
I, again, would track everything.
Okay.
Like, am I breaking out at certain times, or do I have acne 24/7?
Okay.
Like, that's going to help you to see if it has to do with your cycle or not. Also, are you getting a regular cycle? Are you ovulating? Like, are you having a lot of digestive issues? Like, are you bloated all the time? And just getting back to the basics, I feel like a lot of people that listen to this podcast probably already eat pretty clean.
Yeah.
They drink water, they exercise. So if you're already doing those basics and you're still breaking out, like, that's when you need to get really granular. And, yeah, just track everything. Like, are you getting good sleep? Is your skincare, you know, contributing to the problem? And again, like, not that this is the root cause, but when's the last time you washed your pillowcase? Like,
yeah, I mean,
those
that's
things
true, though, because you get, like,
contribute.
bacteria and stuff
Exactly.
lives on everything.
Like, even I have a water filter on my shower and sink because I have city water, and that makes my skin worse. Like, it can get so granular, like I said.
It's pretty crazy. It's like it gets so granular, but it takes almost like a village of things to understand, like, where it's coming from and how to fix it.
Yeah, it's definitely a holistic approach, so...
Well, that's super informational. That was really helpful.
Yeah,
I'm gonna start. I have to get my labs done anyway, so I'm gonna get them done. And
yeah, I'm excited.
Yeah,
I hope that helped people. I know that was like a lot of information, and I just also wanted to speak a lot about my own experience because I want people to know that they're not alone, obviously, and hopefully this resonated with some of you guys. My skin is not like perfect where I want it to be, but just being on this journey has taught me so much. Like, I truly feel like that's my life mission and passion, is to figure this out for myself so I can help other people. It's taught me resilience. It's taught me patience. It's taught me to learn to listen to my body and try to hear what it's actually communicating to me. So, yeah, I hope this episode made you guys feel less alone and just more empowered on your own healing journey. But that's all I have.
that was awesome.
Thank you.
That was great. That was, like, seriously, that was great. And I know, like, we've been wanting to do this episode for a long time, and we've had a couple things come up. If you listen to our last episode, you know I had surgery. We also, Morgan got engaged, and we've had lots of fun things going on. So this episode's like, we wanted to really make sure when we did it, we sat down and gave it the proper time.
Yes.
So please make sure that you guys share this with a woman that you know that's dealing with hormonal acne, or just acne in general, because Morgan puts so much time and, like, effort into what she has done, like, fixing her skin and healing herself, that more people need to hear your story. And I think it'll help a lot of people listening, that, like, they're not just stuck, like, because I feel like, too, when you're an adult, like, when you're a teenager, acne seems very curable. It's like, oh yeah, just do this and it's fine, you know. But, like, when you get to be an adult, it's like, I'm an adult with acne, like, that, am I just someone that's gonna have that for the rest of my life? Like, you know, it becomes kind of, I know I do that myself. Like, I'm like, is this something I'm just never gonna be able to get rid of? Like, what the heck?
Especially as, like, a person in the health space, I'm like, I would get imposter syndrome a lot. Like, how come I can't heal myself? You know, like, I have all this knowledge, but it's really just, it takes time.
And it's not linear.
Yeah.
No, nothing that we do in the health industry is linear, including your skin.
Yeah.
You know?
And, like, doing that genetic test showed me that I had a lot of genetic predispositions to it, and so none of this surface stuff was ever going to do anything because my body was just prone to it. So
and too, hopefully this helps you save you guys some money. Think about how much money you have spent on retinol, on Accutane, on different skincare products. You know, this might help you really try to spend your dollars where it might matter more.
And focusing on the internal stuff, like the nutrition and the sleep and the water and the movement, I think is a good place to start before you just go to Sephora and buy like 10 different products.
Me. Guilty again.
But we'll link some helpful stuff for you guys down below, the pore clogger and just like some brands I do recommend.
All right, you guys. Well, thank you so much for watching. Be sure to like and subscribe to our channel. Leave us a review. It really helps support our channel and pushes us out to other women who are looking to learn information that we give out. So thank you guys for watching. We appreciate it. We're excited for 2026. And we'll see you in the next one.
Bye.